Hey, it says we're on the air. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. And sorry I'm running a couple of minutes late here. I won't bother to take the time to explain all that, but nevertheless, we're here. And I was sort of part of me was sort of hanging out, just giving people a couple of minutes, and I hate to do that, but we had 17 people registered, and clearly not very many of them are here right now. So I'm thinking either the internet's running slow or people are running slow or whatever. At any rate, let me know in the chat you can hear me and see me. Laura's on her way in too, and I'll be here in a moment, and we'll just jump right in and get started. But meanwhile, let me know in the chat how many of you struggle with the law of attraction? How many of you have made it work? How many of you find that it works for you? And if you struggle, thanks, Cynthia. If you struggle with the law of attraction, just tell me. Struggle. Doesn't work right. How do you feel about it? And we're going to just jump right in and get going here. So, give me a second. I'm still waiting to get Laura on. And I do. Does that mean you work with the law of attraction, or you struggle with it? Do you struggle with it? So anyhow, okay, I'm back. Trying to organize a couple of things. Sorry, we'll just I struggle with it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, me too. Sometimes, me too. I did over the years, that's for sure. I've learned some new tricks recently. I'm gonna share some things this morning that are actually relatively recent, and some new information, some new insight how all of this works. So you know what? I'm just going to get going here. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. Here we go. Sharing the screen.
That's right. Doing that. So if I can get in there later.
Is that Laura?
Yep.
Hey, we're actually already live, and I'm starting to do a screen share. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Presenting to everyone. Hopefully, everybody can see the screen. And here we go. So let us know you can see the screen in the chat. Laura, can you see the chat?
I can see the chat now, and I can see the screen. So if a couple people can just please put yes in the chat that they can see it, and we're good to go.
Yeah, let's go. Already about 7 minutes behind, and this is going to be a little long this morning. So I'll warn everybody right now. I've got a lot of material, and so the short title of this is "How to Get What You Really Want with Ease." And we're going to dig into the law of attraction and dig pretty deep into how our minds work and how we interact with the universe. And like I said earlier, I've got some new information, some new insight into how all this stuff works that I've not shared before. So there's actually some new material coming at you here later on in the presentation. But let's get going. Quick question. How would it feel if you knew you could attract anything you want in your life or business? You can attract that special relationship. You can attract more customers, more sales, more freedom. Whatever it is you want, how would it feel if you could attract anything you want? That'd feel pretty good, wouldn't it? What if you knew the law of attraction was working for you to attract people and things to you that you want to do life with? What if you had just had a knowing that it was working? And how would you like it if you had a clear vision of your future life and you knew how to move forward toward it every day? That'd be pretty awesome. We really need that. We need a clear vision of where we're going. Otherwise, we're like a sailboat without a destination. We're not going to get there. What if you knew you couldn't fail in life or in business? That'd be pretty awesome. So let's talk about who this is for today. This is for you if you've struggled with making the law of attraction work for you and attracting the success you deserve into your life. And it's for you if you feel like you don't have a clear vision of where you want to go in your business or in your life. It's for you if you feel like you don't understand your life's major purpose. Dear God, why am I here? Will somebody please tell me, what am I supposed to be doing? And it's for you if you struggle with understanding your core values. What are you all about? What's important to you? What are the most important things in your life to you? And there's a couple of prerequisites for success. And let's just go over them right now. The first one is you have to be ready and willing to take 100% responsibility for your life, your dreams, your success, and, oh, by the way, your failures. Without 100% responsibility, if you blame anybody else, anything else, if you push any blame outside of yourself, even 1% of the blame somewhere else, you won't succeed. You have to be 100% responsible for you. And for many people, that's hard, but it's essential. And you got to be willing to treat all failures, and notice I put failures in parentheses, as a learning experience and continue to grow you. And the reason is if you truly believe, really truly believe in this stuff and want to make it work for you, you have to also truly believe there are no failures. There are only learning experiences. There's only stepping stones. You have to, there are many ways to look at it. Some people like to say, well, if this didn't work out the way I wanted it to, it must be because the universe has something bigger and better in store for me. Whatever it is, however you choose to look at it, you have to believe that if things don't work out the way you wanted them to, that you are learning something. And you have to ask yourself, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this experience? And you have to believe that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. It's happening for you to learn, to grow, to become whatever it is you're wanting to become. Why did you come here? What are you doing here? We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, if you can take 100% responsibility for your life, your dreams, your success, your failures, and treat all your failures, quote failures, as stepping stones to your next success, then you can prosper beyond your wildest dreams. And you have to believe that. If you don't believe it, it won't work. So, let's talk a minute about who this is not for. It's not for you if you want to live in fear, anger, resentment, scarcity, poverty. If you want to blame people, if you want to push blame outside of yourself, if you want to hold grudges, if there's people in your past life that you say, well, it's their fault. My mother did it to me. My father did it. My aunt, uncle, sister, brother, teacher, anybody. If you want to push blame outside of yourself, then this isn't going to work for you. You might as well hang it up. You got to stop doing that. It won't work. Remember, you have to be 100% responsibility for yourself. And some people think their mind's just fine. People say things like, listen, there's nothing wrong with my mind. It's my checking account that's got a problem. Well, but the problem is, and you have to accept this, and if you can't accept it, then it won't work. The problem is your checking account got to be the way it is because of your mind. Your mind came first. You have created everything that's happened in your life. You have done it. And if you don't believe that, if you can't accept that, if you can't move through that, then it's not going to work for you. You won't succeed. So let's start at the beginning. The first and indispensable first step into getting what you want is to know what it is, to decide what it is. Now that sentence actually comes from chapter 3 of Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles, which, by the way, if you haven't read, I suggest you grab a copy. It's a really great book. It was originally attributed to Ben Stein, an actor and author. Jack Canfield quotes Ben Stein. The indispensable first step to getting the things you want out of life is this: decide what you want. And I'm going to add with clarity, with complete and crystal clear clarity, because if you can't clearly define what you want, you're not going to get there. And once again, I'm going to drop back to my sailboat analogy. If I sent my sailboat out across the ocean without a clearly defined destination, clearly defined, I can't say, hey, I'm going to go west. I can't say I'm going to go out to the islands. I can't say you got to say where you're going to go. I'm going to go to Honolulu. Okay, fine. If you don't have a clearly defined destination, you're not going to get there. It's that simple. And for many of us, that's not easy. For many, it's a huge problem. We tend to send mixed messages to the universe, and therefore we get mixed results back. And that is part of the problem that many people struggle with. Unfortunately, many of our messages are couched in lack and in fear. We sit around worrying about paying the bills, or worrying about our kids, or worrying about our relationship, or worried about our marriage, or worried about our job, or worried about we spend our time thinking about the things that we're afraid of and worried about, and sitting around worrying about lack and fear. And we don't really know what we want. We simply know what we don't want. That's easy. I don't want any more of them bills. But to really get to what we don't want, or get away from what we don't want, rather, and get to what we do want, for many is a bit of a struggle. We tend to go to church. We go to church on Sunday and we pray for what we don't want. Pay my bills. Well, guess what? You're focusing energy on bills. Let me try one out on you that's maybe a little bit shocking and difficult to understand. But let's say that you have a good friend that's got a serious illness. If you sit down and you say, please fix my friend's serious illness, you're putting energy into your friend's serious illness. You're focused on the illness. If you say, please help my friend recover their health, now you're putting energy into their health. It's a very subtle difference, but it makes a difference in the way things go, in the way things work. That's why, for example, when I give examples of affirmations, one of the ones that I use is, for example, smoking or drinking or any habit. If your affirmation is, I'm going to quit smoking, you're putting energy into smoking. If your affirmation is, I'm going to quit drinking, you're putting energy into drinking. If your affirmation is, I am smoke-free, you're putting energy into being smoke-free. It's a subtle difference, but it makes a difference in the outcome. It's where the energy's going, and where the thought processes are going, and where the focus is. Where the focus is where the energy goes. So we're going to talk a little bit as we go through this webinar this morning. We're going to talk about creating a vision for your life, how to harness the power within you to move consistently toward that vision. We're going to talk about defining your core values. I'm going to show you a simple core values exercise. And we're going to talk about defining your major life purpose. And we're going to talk about at least one simple way to do that, so that your daily actions and affirmations are purposeful and directed towards your vision and aligned with your core values. We're going to talk about a bit about overcoming fear and a bit about beating procrastination, which are the nemesis of many of us, fear and procrastination. And I'm also going to tell you that at the end of the webinar this morning, I do have a product which I would like to take the time to show you about and explain to you. But you don't have to stay for it. It's up to you. We have about an hour's worth of free material here, and then we have a product that we could go take you deeper in. For me to do the complete vision, build a vision, build your life purpose, build your core values, really work on eliminating fear and procrastination and building belief. We can't do it in 1 hour, but I do have a workshop that you can do it in. So let's keep going. Thanks to the awesome power of your mind, you can discover your major purpose in life and attract the things you want to you, including the right customers and relationships, both business and or romantic relationships. You can have what you want. The bottom line, you've heard it before, it's been said many times, you can have, do, or be anything you want. The question is, what do you have to do? Where do you have to focus the energy, and how do you have to focus? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's something we're going to talk about in a little bit. Through my research, through my own understanding and learning about the law of attraction, I've concluded that most of what you've been taught about the law of attraction in the past is wrong, or at least incomplete. Yes, you heard me right. It's at least incomplete, if not wrong. You've been taught that thoughts become things. You've been taught that all you have to do is think about something you want and it's going to materialize. I'm going to tell you that's not true, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. So hang on to that thought. We're going to come back to it, because it's crucial. It's crucial to understanding why you may be struggling with the law of attraction and making it work for you. You can't simply sit and think about something and expect it to materialize. It doesn't work that way. We're going to talk more about that later. But you can achieve an understanding of the universe and how the law of attraction works for you. And I'm going to give you as much of that as I can this morning. And you can learn to harness the incredible power within you to direct your future and achieve your goals. It's all there. It's all fundamentally sitting at your fingertips if you know how to access it. And you can become unstoppable. So let me give you just a real quick little bit of my story. Back around 2011, I was what I thought was devastated. I thought I had hit rock bottom. And I couldn't sleep. I mean, there wasn't a night of the week that I could sleep. I was waking up full of fear every night. I had more bills than money. I was in, Ray Higdon likes to say I wasn't in foreclosure. My house was, but so we all use those same words. I was in foreclosure, but of course it wasn't me. It was my condo up at the ski resort that was in foreclosure. I was just broke. I was out of money. And I was just scared over the whole thing. I did have some income from the sale of a business, which I'll tell you about in a moment, but I was focused on fear. I was focused on loss. I was focused on, oh my God, I'm losing my condo. Oh my God, I can't pay the bills, blah, 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 blah. And of course, that's what I got more of. And the reality is that when you're in that mode where you're focused on fear and loss, that's what you end up manifesting more of. You just simply get more of it because that's where your energy's going. And so that's what I got. I got more of it. So I got a lawsuit. The lawsuit took what little bit I had left, the income I had coming in from the sale of the business, it took it away. And that's about the time that I figured I better change something. And there were several things that I changed, and one of them was my attitude. I began to work on me. I began to realize that if I didn't change my attitude, if I didn't get rid of my fears, if I didn't change what I was focused on, that I wasn't going to be able to get out of the hole I was in. It was too deep. You know, if you're in a deep hole, the best thing you can do is start digging. So, or stop digging rather, and start crawling out, start climbing. So, so I began studying and practicing and implementing many of the practices that I'm talking to you about today in my own personal life. And today I'm back on top of the world. I'm building my business. I'm feeling confident. I'm not afraid. I know what the future's bring. There's my future right there. I'm going to get a new RV and I'm going to go travel around the country, and there's a bunch of other things. But the point is, and this is a teeny tiny little piece of my vision board. We're going to talk about vision boards in a little while because it's important. It's really important that you have a clear, crystal clear vision of where you want to go with your life. And once again, if you don't have a crystal clear vision, then you're not going to get there. You're going to get mixed results. If you send the universe mixed messages, you will get mixed results. That's just the way it works. So the backstory behind that short story, and this is the last slide about me, because this is not about me, it's about you. But I did own a flight school called California Flight Academy in El Cajon near San Diego. In 2008, I had 120 students, 28 airplanes, and 30 instructors. By 2010, I had less than 20 students, 5 airplanes and 2 instructors. That's when the economic collapse of 2008 occurred. And it wasn't anything we did wrong. It just, it took the business down. Flight training worldwide came to a screeching halt. And the airlines lost $8 billion that year. They weren't hiring pilots. They were laying off pilots. I laid off 45 employees in 2009, including my now ex-girlfriend. It's sort of funny how that works. If your ex-girlfriend is if your girlfriend is working for you and you lay her off, it's like, no, she's not your girlfriend anymore. I couldn't pay her. We were out of money. We didn't have any. So I sold the remnants of the school in 2011. I moved to the mountains to rebuild. And then the lawsuit came, and whatever money I had left coming from the sale of the school, they took. The lawyers took it. And by June 2013, I was close to dumpster diving for my dinner. I was really in trouble financially. So I quit digging and started climbing. Some of the biggest misconceptions about the law of attraction, the ones I mentioned a moment ago, thinking that you can just think about things. Thoughts become things. We've heard that so many times that there's this tendency to believe that we can think about something and somehow it's going to materialize. And I'm going to tell you that that's not true. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. But what I call wishing upon a star, and daily affirmations fall into that category. We're told to stand in front of a mirror and repeat after me. I am an excellent money manager. I pay myself first, or I am a leader, or whatever it is you're supposed to stand there and say, whatever your affirmations are, You're supposed to stand. The best thing you can do is stand and stare at a mirror and look yourself in the eye and say them to yourself. And while I'm not going to tell you don't do that, I'm going to tell you that affirmations are important. I'm going to tell you that there's another piece to the equation that is sometimes mentioned, frequently left out. And I'm going to hold on to that for just a little while longer. So once again, the law of attraction means you can think of something and it will materialize. And Abraham tends to lead you to that conclusion that you can just simply think about something. But again, there's other things that are at play here. And one of the things that I'll give you a hint, one of the things that's at play is not just thinking, but it's feeling, it's the emotion, it's what's behind what the thought can generate. It's not only do you think about something, but when we say act as if, what we mean by that is putting yourself in a feeling state that you will have when the thing that you're thinking about materializes. How will you feel when that thing happens? Putting yourself into a feeling state. And so for many people, we're told to make a list of your whys, and we're told to find the why that makes you cry. And I'm going to tell you that I don't think your why and your why that makes you cry is sufficient. They're necessary, but they're not sufficient. There's more to the equation. So the law of attraction is going to work for you, but focusing on what you want just gives the universe guidance. The universe is going to give you guidance back to help you get what you want. We've all heard that action is the key. If you're focused on what you want, the universe will show you the way, but it's not going to take you all the way down the path. You got to walk the path yourself, hand in hand. But you got to meet the universe part way by doing the required work. And the universe will test you. It will play with you. And the one thing that we've learned over and over and over again is that patience, persistence, tenacity are vital to success. The universe works on its time, not your time. I want it tomorrow. It doesn't work. But what you can do to accelerate the process is to develop complete, total, unequivocal, unshakable faith and belief that what you want is on its way. And it's on its way when the time is right. And you may not be able to see the entire equation as to what that time is, but the universe does. God does. Call it whatever you like, God, source, energy, the universe. But it knows when the time is right. You may not. But it will yield to persistence, determination, and plain vanilla hard work. It's often said opportunity frequently shows up dressed in work clothes. So you can't just think about what you want. You got to be prepared to work for what you want and to help it manifest itself into existence. We'll talk more about that too. The biggest challenges, I think, we are born to win. We come out of the womb completely and totally prepared to win. But unfortunately, the society that many of us are raised in fact, all of us, programs us from birth. And I use the word fail. We're programmed to fail. One could argue the word fail. One could argue maybe it should be replaced by mediocrity, conformity, negativity. But we are programmed to not succeed in the way that we were meant to succeed when we were born. Look, we came here for a reason. But unfortunately, through the early programming of our childhood and our youth, fear is dominant. Fear of loss, fear of old age, fear of poverty, fear of ill health, fear of death, fear, fear, fear. Look at the newspapers, look at the news. Throw them away, by the way. I'm going to advise you to throw away the television, throw away the newspapers. You don't need it. You don't need to be inundated daily with all the things that are wrong in the world. You need to be surrounded daily by love and the things that are right in the world. And, you know, the reality is there's more things right than wrong, but you don't get to see that because that's not what the news media feeds you. But we got to learn to harness the awesome power within us to change our lives, manifest the desired outcome. As long as we live in fear and negativity, we're going to manifest more fear and more negativity, which again is one of the reasons why turning off the television, especially turning off the news, is an excellent idea. If you get out of bed in the morning and turn on the morning news because you have this, I'm going to say, mistaken belief that you need to know what's going on in the world, all you're doing is flooding your brain with negativity. That's all you're doing. You're programming yourself to fail. You're programming yourself for lack, crap. And going to bed at night's the same thing. If you watch the 10 o'clock news, then you go to bed. No wonder you have trouble sleeping and manifesting the things you want in your life. So it's not your fault. It's an uphill battle. The other thing that's important to understand is that the primitive brain is wired to protect us. Your brain is wired to respond to what's wrong in your world. It responds to all input by searching through its files and identifying what can go wrong. Your brain acts like a filing cabinet. It files away every little bit of information that's been given to it since birth, since perhaps before birth. It tucks this stuff all away, just like a filing cabinet. And then you say, well, I'm going to do something like, I'm going to pick up the phone and call a prospect for my business. And your brain goes to the file phone and says, prospect, business phone. Bad idea. That prospect may reject you. They may make you feel bad, et cetera, et cetera. And suddenly the phone becomes 10-ton Tessie and you don't pick it up. Why? Because your brain's protecting you. We have to overcome that primitive brain. That brain developed during a time in evolution when fight or flight from real and present danger was necessary. You know, there's a saber-toothed tiger hiding in the woods, and you had to make a quick decision to get away. And the brain was developed. That primitive part of your brain that's still very active, hasn't evolved much in the last million years. It's there trying to protect you, and you've got to overcome it. And you got to overcome it. And part of the way to overcome it is to take those files that are full of negative information, and we'll look at that in just a moment. We got to dump the files and overwrite them. We got to put positive things in the files. Instead of a file that says, ooh, pick up the phone, call somebody, bad idea, I might get yelled at. We got to put information in that file that says, ooh, pick up the phone, call somebody, good idea. They might like what I have to say. We have to literally cleanse the files so that when your brain goes searching for information, it comes up with the information we want it to have, rather than information that was put into it by somebody else in another day and another time, in your youth. And before I go on any further, I'm going to just share with you just two, that's all. I have lots more, 2 testimonials from people that have gone through my complete vision workshop before. Bill says he's attended several trainings that I did, and I have a knack for breaking down complex topics into simple step-by-step solutions that are easy to follow. And what really impressed Bill was the fact that I went out of my way to provide assistance after the training. So when you're all alone trying to figure out something, you can always count on getting help from me. Thank you, Bill. And one more from my friend Chris, who's on here today, and we're going to probably have Chris come out a little later and talk to us, but I've studied with Len on many things. One of the most important things I've learned from Len is mindset and affirmations are right up there as the most important things you can do for your home business. This workshop will change your thinking. So thank you for that, Chris. Let's carry on. Here's really the critically important thing. Many of us think of our body as having a soul, but it's really the opposite. Your soul has a body. Your soul is infinite. Your soul exists. And it's going to go back wherever it came from. It came from nothing. It'll go back to nothing. Ask Wayne Dyer. In fact, on other webinars, I've talked about where we came from. And Wayne Dyer taught that. If we actually drill down into what the real origin of your body is, if we drill down to the little speck of protoplasma that became you, and we go deeper and deeper into it, this is a weird concept, but we find that there's nothing there. We all come from the same place. We came from energy. And we will go back there. And we have chosen to manifest into a physical body. Each one of us has a different reason. We came here with a purpose. But your soul is unique. It's you. And it has the ability to tap into infinite intelligence. Call it God, call it source energy, call it the universe, call it whatever you prefer, but it exists and it is powerful. And we are connected. Each and every one of us are connected to source energy. We're connected to the universe. But we have this thing called an ego. Some people have used the word ego as meaning edge God out. We have this thing called an ego that we've permitted to develop, and we let it get in the way of our connection with Source. We have to tame that piece of us. We have to tame the ego. Another way to look at this comes from Max Planck, who's considered to be one of the founding fathers of modern physics. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. Once again, call it God, call it whatever you want. This statement, by the way, was the basis for the movies, The Matrix, which I never really understood, but I think I understand this statement. We are connected. We're connected to the universal mind. We're connected to infinite intelligence. We are connected to God. We are a piece of it. We have the power to access that. We have the power to form our universe the way we want it to be. But we've lost it, and we have to go back and find it again. Thoughts are things. They vibrate. They have energy. It is the nature of thought to try and materialize into its physical equivalent. That comes from John Kehoe's book, Mind Power into the 21st Century. It's a really good book. There is sufficient evidence to indicate unequivocally that the mind can and does directly affect physical reality, also quoted from Mind Power. So we have the power within us to directly affect physical reality. But we got to start. We got to start somewhere, and we need to start with a vision. Once again, if we don't have a clear, compelling vision of what it is we want to accomplish, we're not going to get there. It's powerful. It's often been said that pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. And without a powerful vision to pull you through the tough times, you're going to throw up your hands at frustration and quit. Pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. And once again, you need to craft a compelling vision that will be powerful and will pull you through the tough times. And there will be challenges. There will be tough times. Like we said earlier, the universe will test you. It will play with you, but it will yield to you if you're persistent and you go after what you want and you're clear about what it is you're going after. And the vision that we need to develop, it's bigger than our why. It's not, for most people, if you ask them why they want to do something, it's, well, I want more money. Oh, I want a vacation, or I want a bigger house, or I want a car, or whatever it is you want. But that's not sufficient. That's really not sufficient to get you where you want to go to. You need to think bigger. You need to think on a grandiose scale. What's the legacy? What do you want to be remembered as? What do you want your obituary to read? What do you want to leave the planet? What impact do you want to have? And I do have a vision worksheet, which I can send to everyone who's on here. But without a clear vision, you're not going to go where you're going, where you want to get to. But you have to define where you want to get to. Now, just this act, developing a vision, can be something that takes days, weeks. I've known of people that have gone off into the woods for, days and sat under a tree to write, to begin to write down what their vision is, what they really want out of their life. And you do need to write it down. And I can't tell you why you need to write it down. I can just tell you that you do. I can tell you that a written vision is far more powerful than a verbal one. And you got to pick up your vision every day and read it. You got to remember what it is you're trying to accomplish, because it's easy to get distracted in today's world. There are many, many, many things pulling at your mind, pulling at your time. The other thing is that your vision needs to be aligned with your core values and your major life purpose. What is it that you're here to accomplish? What are your core values? What's really important to you? So my core value is honesty. My vision is I want a lot of money, so I'll go rob a bank. Well, those aren't actually consistent with each other. It's probably not going to work out real well. So we want our core values and our major life purpose to sync up with our vision, so that everything's synced up, and we hum along like a finely tuned machine. We can jump out of bed with enthusiasm because we know who we are and where we're going, and our daily strengths are aligned with our our daily actions are aligned with our core values, strengths, and our vision. Does all that make sense? I hope it does. So, at the end of all these exercises, vision, core values, life purpose, how would it feel to know who you are and know what you want out of life, and be able to just sort of take off the gloves and go for it with gusto? How would it feel to not procrastinate, to not feel overwhelmed, just to take action, to not hesitate, to jump in with both feet, because you know that you're going to win this. You can stay positive. You can believe in the possibility that you know that you can do it, and you believe in you. That's where we want to get to. We want to get to a point where we have a crystal clear vision that's aligned with our core values, that is in sync with our major life purpose, and that we believe in fully and completely and totally. Napoleon Hill, in his great book, Think and Grow Rich, talks a lot about faith. He's got a whole chapter on faith. And the faith is the workshop of the mind, and it's what you have to have in order for your thoughts to be put into manifestable actions. So let's talk about core values. A very, very simple core values exercise is to list 10 core values that are important to you. And we're going to do this right now. We're not going to actually list them all, but we're going to free flow this. Let me just flip to the next page. So here's a partial list of core values. So, for example, spiritual values might be trust Christ as a savior, or view life from God's agenda, trust the scriptures, full of hope, forgiving, civil values, relationship values, moral values, lifestyle values, family values, personal development values, character values, honest, loving, truthful, faithful. Grab a list like this. If you don't like this list, go to Google core values, and list, just free flow through the list. List 10 core values. The 10 that come to mind is the most important ones for you. And once you have your list, pick two values, and imagine that you have to eliminate one of them. So, for example, if I say that two of my most important core values are freedom and health, and then I say I have to eliminate one of them, I can only have one. I can have freedom, or I can have health. I can't have both. Which one am I going to eliminate? Which one's more important? I mean, they're both obviously very important. Which one is more important? And for me, that is a tough question, but I'm going to pick health over freedom. And why is that? My assumption is that if I have my health, even if I don't have my freedom, I can work for my freedom. I can fight for it. I can do whatever I have to do to achieve it. But if I have my freedom and I don't have my health, do I really have my freedom? Am I really free if I'm not healthy? If I'm sick, am I really free? So I'm going to weigh health over freedom. So that's the way I would reach that decision. So list 10 core values. Play with this. We're not going to do it right now, but play with it. And go sit down and make a list of 10 important things to you, and then prioritize them and see what comes out of it. Once you have your core values, know this. We've heard this before. People follow people who know who they are and what they stand for. You've heard it before. If you happen to be in business, and I know some of you are, home-based business, people don't join businesses. They don't join companies. They don't buy products. They join you. They buy you. They buy into you. They want to know that you know who you are and that you're going someplace, that you're sure about yourself. And notice, this isn't about making money. One of the reasons there's so much spam and crap on the internet is a lot of people mistake this as something that's about making money. It's not. And you might think, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I can't pay my bills next month. It's about making money for me. Well, but it isn't. Because the reality is all the money in the world isn't going to help you be happy. And, if you can go out and you can lead and you can make some other people happy, you're going to find out how to get the money to come. It's going to come. The universe is going to work with you. And it isn't about what you do. It's about why you do it. Now, if I said anything that's important today, that sentence is it. It's not about what you do. It's about why you do it. And if your why, people, if your why is to make people healthy, maybe you're in a health and fitness company, or maybe you're in a bodybuilding company, or maybe you're in a travel company. Your why is to help people have more fun. If your why is to help people, everything else will fall into place. It's not about what you do. It's about why you do it. Extremely important concept. So let's talk about your mission in life. One simple way to figure out what your life's purpose is to ask yourself the following question. What is it that excites you so much you'll leap out of bed at the crack of dawn with enthusiasm, optimism, and energy and go do it all day long without getting paid for it because you absolutely love to do it? What do you love to do? Take the money out of the equation. What do you love to do? And I know there's a reality, a necessity of having to go to work on Monday morning to get a check because you've got to put food on the table. But let's ignore that for a minute. If you could, what would you jump out of bed and do every day with enthusiasm, even if you didn't get paid for it? If you could, because that's what you love to do. And if you know what that is, then let's begin to structure a life around that concept. It doesn't mean we're going to get there in one step. But let's begin to think about how we can move that direction. So that becomes part of our vision. So we have our vision. We're going to build our vision out of our core values and out of our life purpose, and figure out where we want to go to. And then we're going to begin to plot the course, how to get there. So now what? Once you've determined and written down your life purpose, read it every day, preferably in the morning. Make certain your goals and vision are aligned and they serve your life's purpose, and refine your life's purpose as you mature and develop yourself. But if you think through what we just talked about, if you know what it is that you really love to do and want to do, if you've crafted a vision that's going to take you toward what you really want to do and love to do, if you've set your life, your core values so that you're not violating any important principles, if one of your principles is family is very important to you, well, making sure you take care of your family, that's important. That you said so. It's one of your core principles. So make sure that your mission includes taking care of your family. Well, put things together in a way that they're going to come true for you. You have a clear vision of where you're going, and it excites you. It gets you out of bed in the morning. Notice the word excites. Because if it excites you, it's getting your emotions involved. And we're going to come back to that in a few minutes, because once again, I'm going to tell you that the law of attraction isn't what everybody tells you it is. I'm going to tell you more about that. So I'll give you my purpose. My purpose is to use my intelligence and flexibility to understand individuals and inspire peace, harmony, and acceptance among people. Now that's a big mouthful. That's what came out of doing a detailed life purpose exercise that was recommended by Jack Canfield's book, and I went through his complete exercise, and it's the complete exercise that you actually get in the Vision Workshop. But how do I fill that purpose? Well, there's lots of different ways, and one of the ways is I'm doing it right now. What would I do? What would I get out of bed and do every day, even if I didn't get paid to do it because I love to? Those of you who know me know the answer to that question. We're doing it right now. One of the things that I absolutely love to do is I love to teach. Absolutely love it. I've been a quintessential teacher all my life. No, I'm not a credentialed teacher. No, I never taught in the schools, although I thought about that. Unfortunately, I don't think the schools do a whole heck of a lot of teaching these days, or at least they didn't when I was growing up. But that's a whole nother topic that we won't get into today. We don't have time. Now let's talk about the next step in this process. Napoleon Hill wrote 2 books. He wrote Think and Grow Rich, and he wrote a second book called Outwitting the Devil. And by the way, we're going to go a little over this morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, if anybody has to leave, I know what time it is, but I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush this. There's some really important material ahead of us. He wrote a second book called Outwitting the Devil. In that book, he had an interview with the devil. It's written in interview style. He asks the devil questions, he gets answers. Now, his family buried the book for about 40 years because the book was so controversial that they were concerned that publication would lead to issues. And the book was finally published recently in the last, I don't remember when, to be honest with you. Maybe it was 10 years ago. It could be more, could be less. I don't know. I have it on my shelf. I know several other people here have read it. It's an incredibly powerful book. And whether you believe that Napoleon Hill's devil is a physical being that was sitting in the room with him or runs around with a pitchfork, lives in a place called hell, or whether you believe it's a metaphor for the things, the chaos in the universe. And right now, I'll let it just be a metaphor for chaos. Whatever you believe is okay. It doesn't matter. It's like, what do you want to call God? You want to call him God or source or energy, or what do you want to call him? It doesn't matter. Our names don't matter. They don't mean a thing. There are how many thousand languages on earth? How many different names does God have? How many different gods are there on earth? Different religions who have a different vision of what God might be like. It doesn't matter. What matters is the concept. Left untended, or unattended, the natural state of affairs is to move toward chaos or disorder. Now, this is very simple to understand. Go look in your garden. It's not hard. You can plant roses, and the weeds will overcome the roses. And besides that, weeds are by definition. If I've got a vineyard, a rose bush is a weed. So what are the weeds in your garden? And the fact that the natural state of the universe is to move toward chaos and disorder has been long understood by science. It's called thermodynamics. It's called maximum entropy. There's a term for it. And if you study thermodynamics, you'll quickly learn about entropy. And entropy is really simply a measure of disorder in the universe. And a perfect example is herding kittens. If you've ever tried to herd a group of kittens, you understand the tendency to move toward maximum disorder. That's what the universe tends to do. Left to its own, it will move toward maximum disorder, and it doesn't matter what corner of the universe you're looking at. It all works the same way. So what does it really mean? What does it mean for you? It means, first off, it means if your mind is unattended, it will grow weeds. And many of us already have more weeds than we know what to do with. We go to bed at night fearful. We're afraid of poverty. We're afraid of old age, ill health, death, the bill collector. And as long as fear is our dominant thought, that's what we're going to get more of. And fear is the thing that stops us more than any other emotion. And when we're afraid, we drift in and out of purpose, action, procrastination. We put off doing things because we're afraid to do them. We put off doing them because the neighbors might not like us, or because somebody might think that's a dumb idea, or whatever our reasons are, whatever our fears are. If we don't get those fears out of our mind, this is one of the things that stops many people from manifesting what they think they want in their life, because the fear is overwhelming the flowers, if you like. They planted the flower, but they're not picking the weeds. And unfortunately, once again, it's not your fault. We're programmed into this from the moment we come into the world. It starts with our upbringing. By the time you reach the age of 18, you've heard the word no 200,000 times. You've seen 30,000 acts of violence, probably more these days. You've received more than 12 million messages. 12 million messages in the form of advertising telling you how to look, what to eat, how to feel. Remember that brain we talked about earlier, the primitive brain that searches for, should I fight or flight? What should I do? It goes into the file cabinet. These are the files it finds. When your brain begins to search for what should I do? How do I protect this guy that I'm attached to? These are the files it finds. these files that have been put in by other people, these are our files of our past. And if we don't clean out the files of our past, we can't achieve the dreams of our future. We cannot. These are the blocks. We are blocked from going forward with this stuff when this stuff is there. So we have to clean them out. We have no choice. So we got to install new software. It's that simple. Update the program, call it what you like. We got to erase the negativity, replace it with positive thinking, and what Napoleon Hill calls definiteness of purpose. So you have to stand guard at the entrance to your mind. And every time a negative thought pops up, you got to grab it and whisk it out of there. And if you let your mind dwell on fear, scarcity, negativity, chaos, failure, that's what you're going to get. And if you feed it thoughts of abundance, health, wealth, and happiness, that's what it's going to work on for you. I suggest you make yourself a mind movie. For example, if you want to, go to that website, glenmooney.com/mind-movies. Make yourself a mind movie. I do have one of my own. And watch your mind movie every day. And again, there's more to this than just saying the words, standing in front of a mirror. But we'll talk more in just a moment. But we have to overwrite the programming. If you've heard the word no 100,000 times or 200,000 times, you may have to repeat an affirmation, look at a mind movie, and etc. You got to pull a lot of weeds. That's the message. You got to pull a lot of weeds. The garden's been untended for a long time. There's a lot of weeds in the garden. You got to go pull them. There's a lot of weeding to do. Create a vision board. Make a vision of what you want your life to be like, and put your, whatever it is, your home, your travel, your family, your career, your love, your health, whatever it is, put it on your vision board, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your bathroom mirror, look at it every morning, every afternoon. Remind yourself of what it is that you want to accomplish when you're in your life. Make it clear where you want to go and begin to pull the weeds. Now let's talk about a new twist. Everything you've been taught about the law of attraction is either wrong or incomplete, in my humble opinion. And the reason is this: the law of attraction doesn't actually work on thought, it works on feelings. It's not the thought that manifests, it's the feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. Without the thought, the feelings can't be generated. You see, it's like planting a weed or planting a seed. If I plant a seed for a rose bush, I expect a rose bush. Well, what do you expect if you don't water the seed and give it fertilizer? The feelings are the water. They're the fertilizer for the seeds that help them to grow. And this is why you're told that you have to become the thing, the person you want to be before you can have the result. This is why you're told to bring your feelings into the equation. The feelings are the water, they're the fertilizer that cause the seeds to grow. Without the feelings, the thoughts die on the vine. This is huge. This is profound. This is the secret behind the secret. If you've watched the movie The Secret, this is the secret behind the secret. The secret is thoughts become things. But the secret behind the secret is without the feelings, the thoughts can't grow. They can't mature. They can't materialize. They can't manifest. And this is why standing in front of a mirror saying, I am a good money manager, I'm a good money manager, and your monkey brain is sitting there going, no, you're not, no, you're not. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to feel it. You have to really feel it. In fact, thoughts are brain-centered. And that's the seat of the conscious mind. It's also the seat of all these negative files, these weeds that we've talked about. It's the source of fight or flight and fear. Feelings are heart-centered. That's the seat of the subconscious mind. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, for example, states that the body is the subconscious mind. It's the feelings that provide the engine, that drive the emotions, that bring the thoughts into physical manifestation. And if you understand this, you now know the secret to unlocking the law of attraction and making it work. This is the secret behind the secret. Now, I didn't say this is easy. So if you're sitting there with a pile of bills on your kitchen table and no money in your checking account, this isn't easy. But it is the secret to success. It's the feelings that drive the whole engine. So I'll leave you with that thought. Thoughts versus feelings. So when you're thinking about this vision of what you want in your life, think about how it will feel when you achieve the result. Think about how it's going to feel when you step off that sailboat in Hawaii. If your vision is to sail to Hawaii, using my sailing metaphor again, continuing to use the sailing metaphor. Okay, let's travel on. Have you gotten value so far? We talked about making the law of attraction work for you. We've talked about creating your vision, elucidating your core values, identifying your major life purpose, crafting your mission statement, and weeding the garden. And the last one is pretty gosh darn important. If you don't weed the garden a couple of times a day, it's good. And for many of us, there's a lot of weeding involved. Like I said, there's a lot of weeds. So that's all I can do in an hour. Now we're going to jump into what we can do in 2 or 3 hours or more, and that is the vision workshop. So I have a product that I've created for you that will let you go deeper into all this material and work more diligently on it, etc. So I want to introduce the Ultimate Vision Workshop, help you unleash the awesome power of your subconscious mind. Again, we are spiritual beings who have chosen to manifest into a physical universe. As such, we are connected to infinite intelligence, and we have the power through the use of our subconscious mind, our feelings to create our future, our destiny, our abundance. In this workshop, we're going to learn how to harness that power. We're going to craft your vision for success. It's often been said that the pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. And without a powerful vision to pull you through the tough times, you're going to throw up your hands in frustration and quit. But we're going to craft that vision together. We're going to take you through a powerful vision exercise that will help solidify, clarify, crystallize your vision and give you the ability to pull yourself through the tough times. So this is a 5-module course, literally guaranteed to help you succeed. Module 1, the power of thought. Module 2, defining your core values. Module 3, discover your life's major purpose. Module 4, craft a compelling vision. And Module 5, belief, the key to success. And the reason the belief and key to success is last, but is the most powerful module, is because without the other 4 elements, you got to have something to believe in. You got to have something to work toward. So here's what's in the Module 1, the power of thought. Understand how thought tends to materialize into its physical equivalent. Capture the essence of pure thought and how to harness its energy. Discover how the great leaders have understood this for centuries and why the masses have not. There is a reason. The secret was a secret. It was kept from the population by leaders over the thousands of years. It really was. This stuff isn't new. It wasn't discovered. It didn't fall off a Christmas tree last week, last year, last month, or even last century. But it was buried, literally buried, figuratively and physically buried. Module 2, discover your core values. Learn to hum along through life firing on all cylinders as you discover how to bring your life into alignment. We're going to do a more detailed core values exercise than the one I covered here today. This was a very super simple, superficial one. In the workshop, we're going to do a more detailed one. We're going to do it together. And we're going to prioritize them and turn them into a list of actionable items. You're going to follow me through a simple core values exercise, and it'll leave you pretty amazed at its power. Module 3, we're going to work on your life's purpose. And again, we're going to do a more in-depth exercise, basically following along Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. Why are you here? What are you supposed to contribute to the planet, to the universe? And what's your major purpose in life? So we'll conduct an extremely powerful life purpose exercise. We're going to actually go through it together and come up with our life purpose. And then finally, craft your vision. Now that we know our core values and our life purpose, we can craft a compelling vision for our future, and we can jump out of bed every morning with enthusiasm because we know our life's purpose, our core values, and our vision are aligned and they're congruent with each other. And module 5, the power of belief. This is the most powerful of the modules. To achieve our goals, we got to believe in them. Anything you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Belief for many is the most difficult problem. In fact, belief is the major reason many people fail. They may have a vision, they may have core values, they may have everything else, but they don't believe. They believe it's possible for somebody, but not for me. So we got to develop a rock solid belief that you are worthy and you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. We got to learn to overcome procrastination, devour overwhelm for breakfast, and spit it out. And you're going to become unstoppable because finally you know who you are and where you were going. How cool is that? So here's what we got. I have arbitrarily attached values to these modules. Frankly, I think each one's worth more than $27 each, but I've just picked an arbitrary number. If you're interested in the course, that's not what you're going to pay today, but if you're interested in the course, there's a website, lenmooneyinternational.com/UVW, which is Universal Vision Workshop. Anyhow, UVW. Ultimate Vision Workshop, UVW. Now, there's also some other things. You're going to get a vision worksheet, a core values worksheet, and you're going to get an ebook, The 11 Secrets to Success. And you're going to get a money back guarantee. If it doesn't do everything I say it does, give it back to me or keep it and ask for a refund. I've never refunded any of these, by the way. So basically what you're going to get is about a $200 value. There it is. The power of thought, defining your core values, discover your life's major purpose, craft a compelling vision, the key to success, belief, and then the worksheets and the ebook. And plus, there's a $49 special for today. This course has been listed and sells on my website for $97. For today, it's half off, $49. Again, there's the website, lenmooneyinternational.com, UVW. So, and for the first 5 people that register or buy the course, I'm offering a half-hour coaching session for free. So that's another $100 value or more. I think I'm worth more than that. So if anybody wants a half-hour coaching, just jump in and grab the course, $49 today. That's what you get today. So again, there's the website, lenmooneyinternational.com, Ultimate Vision Workshop, UVW. Okay, there's a last testimonial from Karen. You did a bang-up job in the webinar. She sat through the live presentation of the workshop before it was turned into a online course, and she's sending love and gratitude your way. I had a long list of Saturday chores around the house and didn't think I should sit and listen to another webinar while letting those things go. However, the list of what you intended to cover reeled me in. You're correct. We do know these things, but may not be putting them into action. You've given me much to think about and now a way to do it better. Thanks for all you do. And that's from Karen. So there you have it. The price goes back up to $97 tomorrow and free coaching goes away. So I'm offering it today only. That's it. lenmooneyinternational.com, Ultimate Vision Workshop, UVW, for $49 today. So that's the end of that. I'm going to come off the slide screen share. Stop screen sharing. Hello there. Fancy meeting you here.
Hello.
Hello.
Great job. There's a lot of really deep things in there.
Yeah. It is. You said that the law of attraction saved your life.
Yeah, when I came into network marketing, I didn't really understand what it was. I'd never heard of it before. And when I started to find out more and study it, it changed everything for me. It really did. It was more than just a light bulb moment. And I just started to understand the law of attraction a whole lot better, and things started to change dramatically. So yes, it has.
Stuff really works. It really does work. And unfortunately, a lot of people are blocked and they don't know how to make it work. But hey, Chris, you went through the live workshop, and I think you also have the online one too. What are your thoughts?
It's very detailed. It will definitely get you thinking. Very well put together. You know, one of my favorite authors, Pam Grout, says that the mind is like a new puppy, and you have to keep taking it out and training it before you get it right.
That's an interesting thought. I've never heard that.
I know she's got a really lot of good analogies in her books, but this course is well worth $49. I believe that I paid more than that.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Okay.
So everybody should get it. It's full of value and well worth the money.
All righty. Cool. Thank you, Chris. All right. Well, that's all I've got for you today, folks. Let's see. The only other thing I'm gonna hit, if I can type with this without. If I can type this correctly, I hope I did. When I close the webinar here, I'm going to hit a redirect. And so thank you all for coming. I know it's Saturday morning, but I hope you got value. And we're all done. I guess we're all done. If there aren't any questions, I'm going to hit the redirect and close the webinar. All righty? Bye for now.
Thanks, Len.
Okay.